good now, right? You can see it?
Yes. I'm loving the graphics.
Yeah.
Did you do that yourself with the, what's it called, with Blender?
Yeah, I was in Blender for about 5 hours last night just doing this. But yeah, so this is going to be part 1. We've got from January to March because there's just so much shit that we shared between us in that time.
January to March was the best part. The whole world was going crazy. You had people saying that Trump was gonna find his ballsack and actually like do something.
Right, let's kick this thing off.
And by do something, Susan, I mean peacefully accept the transition of power that's been the cornerstone of American democracy.
Unsolved 2016 murder of Democratic National Committee staff member Seth Rich prompted conspiracy theorists to speculate that Hillary Clinton arranged his death. The theory is based on a Fox News report, later retracted, that Rich had been responsible for WikiLeaks' release of DNC emails.
As the Anthony Cumia talking about all the going through the list of Clinton associates who have killed themselves in mysterious circumstances. Obviously, all of those stories, Susan, are completely unfounded, and I completely 100% believe that all those people just kill themselves. No, there were like some of them who were like, what's it called? One of the guys was like on an airplane. The airplane crashed, and they decided to like investigate. So the airplane crashed, but then they found his body with like bullet wounds in his skull. So they tried investigating the plane crash. But then the air traffic controller killed himself as well. So whoops, they couldn't do that either.
Imagine linking January 6th to farmers in India.
Does she even know where India is? She probably thinks it's Indiana.
Is India the world's oldest democracy?
No, the most populous.
Populous.
Also, the Americans.
Wait, hang on. So the U.S. is supposedly U.S., which is a constitutional republic anyway. It's supposed to be the world's oldest democracy. This is blue check marks at work. Like this is blue checks at work.
She doesn't know what she's talking about half the time. I've gone from absolute disdain to pity
hatred.
And now just a worry. Really.
All right. For me, it's just outright hatred and disdain.
Because you want to fuck her, innit? That's what she keeps telling everyone.
Oh, this isn't AOC. This is Mina Harris saying this. Who's Mina Harris?
A blue check mark at work.
I'm grateful for AOC speaking vulnerably about the trauma she experienced at the Capitol.
It's like, hey, the people are oppressed in India, and that's a bad thing. And like, hey, the people are oppressed in the US, but they're evil because they're attacking democracy, so therefore it's a good thing. Like that's basically, it's like complete narrative collapse. It was the same thing with the protests in Kazakhstan. You had a complete narrative collapse because in Kazakhstan you basically had, oh look, working class people are rising up against the corrupt state. Meanwhile, January 6th, like
yeah, they're still fucking babbling on about it. They're going to be milking for a while, but it's not actually producing milk. They're milking it. They're just going to end up with fucking cowpox.
No, but you know that there's that blue check mark was lamenting the fact that he ran a focus group, and like even like the Democrats were like, bro, just give it a rest. And he was like, how are they not caring about this? Fox News is running headlines about inflation on January the 6th.
Yeah. Mina Harris. Is that just like a meaner version of Kamala?
Probably.
Even possible.
Right, what else have we got?
Gen Z is completely unremarkable, culturally irrelevant and unoriginal. Carbon copy millennials with a hyper-focus on our worst traits and none of the good. It's really sad. They're the Gen X to millennial boom. I disagree. And then on offer is...
And it's completely proving the point.
Yeah, Greta Thunberg. Who's that bottom left?
Who's the bottom left? Is that the dude who got shot in Parkland? Oh no, he didn't. He didn't get shot. He pushed some fat kid in the way, to quote Louis C.K.
Is that a dude?
No, is that chick with who shaved her head?
Oh God, yeah. Oh
yeah.
God, she's That's someone's
The,
kid.
the,
Like,
the best thing is
allow it.
when they basically admitted they were bullying the shit out of that kid and he snapped. And they're like, yeah, but you don't know what it's like. Yeah, you know, like...
Yeah, Greta
Yeah.
Thunberg has the appeal of a toilet brush.
That's the thing, like Billie Eilish with the SSRIs, and like, is that basically it? Your stereotypical Zoomer artist is a girl with SSRIs, and stereotypical Zoomer male artist probably also addicted to benzos in one way or another. I mean, have you noticed how rap nowadays like has got all these references to benzos and opiates? Like, it's all about popping Percocet and like I'm on ZANNIES and stuff, and it's like, you know, 20 years ago, 50 Cent would rap about being shot and shooting the guy back, and the other guy is now dead and he's still alive. And now we have fucking rappers rapping about how they're like
I couldn't get off the sofa today.
Yeah, I couldn't get off the sofa today because I'm on ZANNIES. Like, bruh.
Yeah, I piss in my panties. I'm dropping those ZANNIES. Yeah, that's a society in decline if I ever saw one.
Yep.
They all saying that I'm conscious. I say that it's nonsense. So I say I've been on since on had an on switch from Seattle, the rainy city where my mom lived, in Jerusalem.
Right. Okay.
He's just stolen Kanye's sound, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. It does look like
How very
when you order
sneaky,
your Kanye West of Wish.com.
The music video is pretty lit.
Is it litty?
Proper Jude out.
Yeah,
as well.
he belongs to the branch of Judaism known as Messianic Judaism, which is the kind of Judaism where you believe the Messiah is coming.
What's he coming to do?
So it incorporates some elements of the Christian doctrine.
This feels like it should be really offensive, though. Hang on. This is a still from the video.
No way.
It looks like a piss take.
How do I get one of those hats?
I think that, like, you gotta be Orthodox Jewish.
So how have they got them?
I can't believe these guys can't actually be Orthodox Jews. Can they?
No, surely not.
I don't know. I don't know what to think.
What we got? 20-year-old Nashville YouTuber Timothy Wilkes was killed after he approached a group of guys with butcher knives as part of a prank robbery for YouTube. Shooter said he was unaware of the prank and shot him to defend himself and others. No one has been charged in Wilkes' death.
What an absolute
It's just a
dipshit.
prank, bro. Just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, bro. It's just
Just a prank, bro. Just a prank, bro.
What was he thinking?
He was thinking it was just a prank, bro.
It's a prank, bro. I always thought going to Liverpool and selling the sun would be a funny YouTube video.
Yeah, but it's also like Tennessee. Isn't Tennessee like a really, really red state? That
Yeah.
like where gun like I'm just quickly gonna fact check gun laws in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, you're fine. That's like a one where you can get them in Walmart and shit.
Tennessee allows permitless open and concealed carry. Yeah, so like you can basically just walk around with like a shotgun or a strap at AR-15, and no one can do anything about it. So
He would have
honestly,
seen that they had
great.
guns. He would have seen they had guns. We're like, yeah, let's do this. I feel like you wouldn't miss your kid if that's how they went.
It was like Bill Hicks, he was talking about people who like died trying to fly on acid. He's the same thing. Like it's like, fuck it, we lost a moron. Great, the world's a little lighter. We lost a moron. Woohoo!
He was like, yeah, when he was talking about what the kids that committed suicide after listening to a Judas Priest album. He's like, oh no, we're gonna have 2 less gas station attendants. Like, there will be no delay in the space program because of this. Okay.
If they charge £1 to go to piss on her grave, we clear the national debt in no time.
There aren't even that many people. What's the national debt?
I mean, okay. Well, why don't we run some calculations? That's gonna be like.
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, right. UK national debt. UK national debt is 2.2 billion. Now, an average person urinates 5 times a day. If everyone in the UK urinated all of their 5 times a day onto her grave. So that's everyone in the UK paying £5 a day. UK population is
66 million.
67 million. 67, yeah, 67 times 5 gives us 335 million a day. So 2.2 billion divided by 350 million. It gives
it's like 7 days. It'd take a week.
Yeah, a week.
That's why.
We're making some strong assumptions here. We're making assumptions that every single person in the UK, every man, woman, and child,
and baby,
is pissing 5 times a day on her grave.
Well, if I go for a drink, I piss a lot more, and I drink quite a lot. So I think there's a lot of boozers, on her.
Fair thing, but then you also need to like be near her grave. Like you have to factor in the fact that we gotta transport 67. Like you gotta have to transport some poor fucker from Orkney to
where is her grave?
Thatcher's grave.
I'm just looking at it now. Yeah, I wonder where that is.
Yeah, make an itinerary from the Isle of Man to.
It's in Chelsea.
Oh.
Royal Hospital, Chelsea. You just left her in the hospital.
Oh yeah, it's a retirement. So Royal Hospital Chelsea is a retirement home, nursing home.
Well, they just put her in the garden.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Quora.com. Has anybody ever urinated Margaret Thatcher's grave?
Yes, Quora. Where did Quora come from? I feel like it just suddenly appeared one day and with millions of answers on it of the most random shit.
Oh my goodness, the first reply is some guy who's got a marks in the profile picture. Disgusting, thieving, neoliberal piece of garbage, hellbent on destroying the union power of the working class. The man is just regular. Oh my god.
Why would somebody who grew up working class want to destroy the working class? It just makes no sense.
Do you ever feel like hating Margaret Thatcher is not a personality trait? Shout out to all the people in Liverpool.
Why do people in Liverpool hate her so much?
I think wasn't Liverpool like really big into mining?
Didn't she ban dancing there for a while or something?
She banned what? She banned what?
Dancing.
Dancing.
Yeah.
It's not Footloose.
Why do they hate her then?
No, she was well into climate change before.
Yeah, exactly.
This new generation. She was ahead of the time.
She was against the EU. She was against she shared a lot more with like today's working class than they'd care to admit.
She probably did back then.
She was against the EU. She was against climate change. She was against. Not gonna lie, today's like Brexit voter would probably have a lot more common with her.
Well, she gave people the opportunity to buy their own council houses.
Yep. In fact, I'd argue she's got more in common with like a Brexit voter than like the Tory government, today's Tory government.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they still don't know really what they're doing about all that, do they? They're kind of just putting it on the back burner and hoping nothing happens.
Corrupt scientists help the tobacco industry. Corrupt scientists help the plastic industry. Did they? What do you mean the plastic industry? I've no recollection of there being a corruption issue in the plastic industry.
Wait, what? No, there is corruption. I mean,
in what sense?
Plastic so when plastic first came out, everyone was like, "Oh, this is gonna be the plastic revolution." Like, what was it? Well, when people are like, "Oh, it's gonna replace," because before plastic, you basically had to make everything. All the soft surfaces had to be made out of wood. And before plastic, and so you had people just being like, "Oh, it's perfectly safe and amazing." History and future of plastics.
Yeah, it was meant to be like an environmental thing, wasn't it? So you get like a plastic bag for the supermarket, and that was meant to. We weren't meant to make trillions of them. We were meant to make a lot less and just keep reusing them. But everyone just ended up just tossing them in the canals, or at least I did.
Like there was some like, do you remember when they were pushing asbestos? They were like, with asbestos, a new material that will last for 1,000 years, and all the scientists say it's perfectly safe to make like ventilation out of asbestos. Like,
yeah, but didn't they used to radiate?
The amount of asbestos propaganda is just vile.
Didn't they radiate like medicines and drinks and shit in like the 10s and 20s?
Yeah. There you go. So let this magic mineral asbestos, thingy from I think 30s or 40s. This magic mineral, asbestos, protect the buildings on your farm. Asbestos, the magic mineral of the Middle Ages. It's still a magic mineral today. Fireproof, rot-proof, practically indestructible. When combined with Portland cement, it is manufactured into products which are especially important on the farm because they provide permanent protection against fire, weather, and wear. Imagine fucking putting your foods into a room full of asbestos.
If I could be reincarnated, I reckon or go back and, you know, past life, I reckon I would want to be an asbestos salesman. I reckon those guys are pretty wild.
How long did it take from like asbestos being on the market to, oh no, this is killing people?
Good
I feel
question.
like it was up to the 90s, right? I feel like when we were kids,
Yeah.
it was like a thing that people were rid of.
Yeah, and it says, smokers, here's proof you can see. Canned cigarettes gives greater protection than any other cigarette. Protection for what? It's like a cigarette poster from like the 50s. It was black and white.
Protection from being a pussy.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, smoking is kind of cool, but oh my goodness, have a look at this. I'm gonna say this. How do you save images from Pinterest when you don't have fuck it. Let's paste it here.
Snipping
In the
tool.
chat. There's some lovely asbestos propaganda. Yeah, actually, I should have probably used snipping tool. Fuck it. Some absolutely lovely asbestos propaganda.
What's asbestos
Pressure
made of?
packing. Good question.
Oh, it can be all the colours.
Asbestos sheets for use in baking bread, pastry, fish, game, etc. Did you ever burn a roast? Try our asbestos sheets and it will never happen again. Asbestos baking paper sheets. When the article is sufficiently browned on top, place the asbestos sheet loosely over it, and it needs no further attention. Fuck.
Oh, it's naturally
My
occurring.
goodness.
I always thought it was like an artificial thing.
Oh, wait until you hear this. Another post. The housekeepers. X-radium cooking utensils. The latest and most scientific cooking utensils ever produced. Scientific preparation of radium mineral clay. Yeah. They made what's it called? There is this glass that contains what is it? Radium that like glows in the dark. But like, fuck, I would probably never want to drink out of that.
What, it glows in the dark? That's pretty flipping awesome.
Nah, The Simpsons is ruined your brain.
Yeah, if you Google uranium glass, you can see like glassware like glows green under UV light.
Stick it on the bill. Was that this year?
That was... Why did it come up?
Maybe the year before.
I think it's still
maybe.
there. Was it last year?
I guess it must still be out there. Right?
Elon car in space. Oh, that was ages ago. That was like 2018.
Oh, what the fuck?
I think that must have been... Oh no, I've done it!
Oh. When
I
the
think
sun dies.
I think you just sent it to me in the chat as a response to the thing on the right. So the European
okay.
Space Agency.
Oh yeah, because I said that when the sun dies, the only thing that we're gonna have is that little car floating through space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Imagine like it pulls away from like Earth's gravity and just floats off like the end deepest corners of like of the world, and some aliens find it. It's like, the fuck is that?
What a great! I would have loved to have murdered someone and then slipped the body into that suit just before
Into
it
that
gets
mannequin.
blasted out there.
That's where Joe Biden's real body is.
Yeah, imagine that's like.
Because Trump is wearing Biden's skin.
Oh, I love those conspiracies. They're like, I found there was like a 6-hour time difference between the inauguration broadcast in like Spain and in the US or something. Like they basically saying like, oh, it was definitely pre-recorded and stuff.
Because you could tell like from
That like the inauguration aired earlier in some countries relative to others, or it's like aired in Spain like 6 hours before it was due to air in the US and stuff and something. So like it was blatantly like pre-recorded and like they recorded in Nevada or something.
the internet has way too much time on its hands. You know that song Tom's Diner.
Yeah.
I was sitting on. People have worked out like when that was by judging by the story she's reading about in the song and like talking about the funnies, and only 2 New York papers had funny cartoons at that date and stuff, and someone's actually like extrapolated from that the day that she wrote that song.
Yeah, people have too much time on their hands.
That's way too much time, right? Or like when 4chan found what's his face is he will not destroy
Divide us. Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf thing.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was basically a celebrity being tormented by a bunch of autistic people. I loved every second of it.
Yeah. I'm so happy I didn't ever do any of the things you were meant to do with COVID, whether that be isolating or getting your COVID passes for flights or
waiting your turn to get the vaccine.
I got the vaccines to get on the flights. Yeah, that was the sad part. Because
No, but
Did you get boosted?
No, but you got a vaccine before everyone else. You didn't wait your turn.
Yeah, that was to help my mum out because my mum was having an ethical crisis about whether or not she should lie about my little brother to get him a vaccine because she could get a shortcut because she was an NHS nurse and she was like, oh, I'm a bit worried I'm going to get him in trouble. Oh, should I do it? And I was like, I'll do it. I don't care about lying. So I went and it was just me and all the old ladies because this was like back in March. So this is like right at the beginning. And I realized I'd done something bad, kind of, when they called me in, they're like, come over your vaccine now, Doris, come up. And I started wandering down, started striding up, like, here for my vaccine. And then I turn around and Doris is coming on a little Zimmer frame and takes about 5 minutes to come down the corridor. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I've done something bad here. And they kept asking me why I was there. Like, how come you're here? I was like, oh, I work at Tesco. And they were like, what? I got questioned by like 10 people, like saying, why are you here? I was like, I work at Tesco. And they were like, do you work here? And I was like, no, I work at Tesco. And then they were like, all right, just have it and just get out of here. Because I was weirding them out. I can't get an AstraZeneca one again. It's like proving impossible to get. I don't want to
It's like a classic speech 100 moment.
We should turn every one of these titles into the Vice equivalent. I ate the giant game controller gummy and I felt like I was going to die. So the Vice equivalent would be what?
I shoved the giant game gummy controller up my ass. And here's why.
I am now in a hospital. Like, my asshole is ruptured. Yeah, Vice would probably be like, I ruptured my asshole trying to fit an entire game controller into it. Here are my experiences. Like, here's my story.
Yeah. I stuck my dick in a ATM in a gentrified location of London. Here's why. I reckon I could kill a chicken. See those polls where people think that they can kill an elephant? It's like 1 in 50 Brits think they can kill an elephant or something like that. It's like,
or like a lion, yeah.
Or a lion, yeah.
What's the biggest animal you think you can kill?
A cow.
So
no, man, cows are fucking...
You reckon you could 1v1 a cow?
I almost got killed by a stampede of 300 cows once. When on acid. It sounds like a
so
Vice
one will be cake, right? Right, so 67% of Britons think they can beat a rat in a fight. Oh, come off it. 33% of Britons are weaklings. 66% think they can beat a house cat in a fight. 45% think they can beat a goose. 38% think they can beat a medium-sized dog. 18% think they can beat an eagle. 13% think they can beat a large dog. 10% chimpanzee. 7% king cobra. 5% kangaroo. 4% wolf. 3% crocodile. 2% grizzly bear. Elephant, lion, and gorilla. I admire the 2% of Britons that think they can beat an elephant, lion, gorilla, and grizzly bear. Do you reckon they're the same people? Because it's 2% for grizzly bear, 2% for elephant, 2% for lion, 2% gorilla. Do you reckon they're the same people? Or
it's definitely nested.
Or is there some guy who's like, gorilla, yeah, lion, not so much, mate.
or they can't take on a house cat, but they could do the others.
Oh yeah, you imagine there's someone who like answers like yes, like crocodile, but no to a goose. I also admire the 10% of people who think they can beat a chimpanzee in a fight.
Their favorite food's brains, chimpanzees. So that's pretty risky.
Yeah, to quote Joe Rogan, chimps are vicious, man. They will beat the shit out of you.
For like the cow, I'll just chase the cow off a cliff or something.
Yeah, man.
Maybe, yeah. Right, stratified by gender, we got 58% of women who think they can beat a house cat compared to 75% of men. And then we get to like kangaroo, 2% of women, but 9% of men think they can beat the shit out of a kangaroo.
Mm-hmm.
Are there anywhere women beat men on their perceived ability to beat up an animal?
No, there are no animal for which
Case
women
closed.
think they can beat a
Oh, this is prophetic.
And yeah, so for goose, it's 58% of men, but only 32% of women. That's still props to the 1/3 of women who think they can beat the shit out of a goose.
You see, they're killing all the hamsters in Hong Kong because of COVID.
Yeah, really sad. F's in the chat for all the
F's in the chat, yeah.
For all the Hong Konger hamsters.
I wonder how many Hong Kongers think they can take on hamsters though. Could get interesting.
I wonder how many Hong Kongers think you take on a goose. Oh, it's also stratified by Americans versus Britons. Britons stack lower than Americans.
Of course.
Fucking hell, 8% of Americans think they can defeat a lion. That's 1 in 12 Americans think they can.
Yeah, but they've got a gun.
Yeah, but no. The question specifically says if you were unarmed.
Yeah, but they
probably
probably see a gun as an extension of their own
they
bodies.
probably see unarmed as only carrying like an M9, right? Like, yeah, basically unarmed. Like, well, it's got 6 bullets in it. Like, bruh, practically unarmed. Yeah, 30% of Americans think they can beat an eagle. Only 18% of Britons. 61% of Americans think they can beat a goose. I think the goose should be the benchmark.
Yeah. Check out this prophetic Times article. Are we handing Afghanistan to the Taliban? Yes, is the answer.
Yes, they were.
I've come back from the future, Marty. Back to the Future reference. Didn't land.
Marty, the Taliban have taken over the Afghanistan. You need to get in the car and.
I remember downloading LimeWire Pro off LimeWire back in the day. That was sick.
Brings back memories. Kaza was the first one. Kaza, Emule, and then LimeWire. The holy trinity of like downloading Eminem.exe and then getting your computer absolutely ruined.
I never understood the people that like share the torrents on, when it's like seeding. I never did that ever. I just downloaded it and then quit.
Oh, you're a leecher. You're a leecher.
Yeah, I'm such a leech. I don't understand why anyone else wouldn't do it.
Just a disclaimer: this live stream does not recommend any peer-to-peer. This live stream is pro artists. We do not recommend torrenting anything or illegally downloading anything. In fact, did you know that you can get a ton of free music off Spotify? Sign up, make an account.
There's a swab in my thingamaboo by Dr. Zeus.
That's in relation to China insisting that all US diplomats have their anal COVID swabs upon entry.
It was more than just US diplomats. My sensei was joking around with my Chinese colleague, saying that I don't want to go to China because I don't want to swab up my ass. So they were doing it to Japanese citizens as well.
They were doing it to Chinese citizens as well. Because I spoke to a mate Howie, and he told me that one day. He was like, "Yeah, we have to get swabbed. We have to get tested up our arsehole now." And he said it was like really uncomfortable, and the doctor made him feel really weird. He felt all sad about it. And I was just cracking up at him. I was like, "Oh man, what are they testing you for? What if you're gay?" Like,
have you ever had a swab in your eye?
No.
I got conjunctivitis once in my eye because I put a dirty contact lens and did fancy dress. One of the worst decisions of my life. But they put alcohol on a swab and swabbed my eye, and it felt like a million tiny little needles stabbing me in the eye.
oh,
The worst pain I've ever felt. I wonder if it feels like that up your ass. If you got loads of nerve endings there, maybe I don't know.
it was just like
I wouldn't be averse to it. I'd rather have a swab up my ass than down my throat, to be honest, because I absolutely hate that, especially my nose.
I haven't had to do that in so long.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, I love these MIDWIT memes. Audiobooks aren't real books and don't count. Stupid people. Word's good. Your word's good.
Fuck, I'm in the middle. Oh no, got to reassess.
We're looking at you claim what were we looking at?
We were looking at top left, but the bottom middle kind of goes with it. You claim to support free speech and oppose censorship by big tech. You're no different from a monopoly who deplatforms people completely because you don't allow me to reply guide to you.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the right hand side. I'm on the 140 IQ side of things here.
I'm always in the middle. Whenever you put these things up, I'm always whack in the middle. Embarrassing.
Seeing your midwit.
This is the strangest episode of RuPaul I've ever seen. You've fallen for our trap, Oprah. We've trapped you in a glass box.
Did The Rock speak Chinese in the show?
Not The Rock, it's
John Cena.
John Cena.
Yeah.
No, he did an apology, right? But it wasn't. Let me see if I can find it. So maybe I'm just mistaken.
Oh, you mean that really like the thing that would be very offensive today, where he like talks like Chinglish.
Oh, it's from a while ago.
Yeah.
Who's going to step up for me? If you need further clarification, let The Rock tell you in Chinese. Uh-oh. Chinese? Jing bang ding dong, he's so
Is that the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics?
Could be. That definitely will bring people to TV screens. So.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, so March week 4. I think there's some good stuff in this one. Some good stuff.
So this is March 2021, right?
Yeah, March 2021.
So
Dr. Naomi Wolf sharing some misinformation.
Oh, no.
Dr. Jones, call me Dr.
Oh
Jones.
no.
I don't know how he finds the time. Dr. John Sims is also a carpenter, pizza delivery boy, and a cop.
Hello, Dr. Wolf. Huge fan of your work. Admire your
Outspokenness.
I have no idea
I mean,
who this
like-
person is. I'm quite happy for him to be consigned to the canals.
Who?
Whoever that person is, that bold motherfucker.
You don't know who that is?
No.
You actually don't know who that is.
What is it, The Rock?
This should be under like the
Vin
top 10
Diesel.
things this guy is not in The Rock.
Vaccine Diesel. Vaccine Diesel.
I mean, he is rock hard.
No, he's not The Rock. He's not Vin.
Think about the middle top tweet, and see if you can get it from that.
That makes me feel like he's not real. That tweet. Like, surely no one's
Well-
that.
He plays a lot of different roles depending on what the plot is.
It makes him sound like Jesus. Is it Jesus?
Yeah, Jesus was a famous pizza delivery boy. He died for your Johnny Sims.
Johnny Sims.
He looks healthy. I want.
Yeah, he does a lot of exercise. His job involves a lot of calisthenics.
Calisthenics, cardio.
Yeah.
You've got it yet?
Well, who he is?
Yeah.
No, I
What
know.
is
I
his
still
line
have
of
no-
work?
Go on, give me a clue. Give me a clue that's not like a cryptic clue.
It's acting, but it's not acting.
Is he? Well, he's one of those fake guys in Ukraine pretend to be bombed. He's a crisis actor. He's a crisis actor.
No, he's not a crisis actor. No, he is.
He used to have hair. He used to have hair before the Russians.
Weirdly enough, I have not seen any scenes with him having hair, and I have watched a fair amount of his material. Not for him, though, obviously.
See, but also, who's Cole McCarthy?
Oh, just Amanda Man.
He's not even blue checked.
He's not
He
even-
looks like a blue check, but not blue checked. He's got the suit and tie.
Have you seen a bunch of journalists getting really angry because they've all been labelled with Russian state media? I don't know what a red tag. I guess it's a red tag. They've been red tagged with Russian state media stuff. When I honestly believe some of them as well. I don't think they actually are, but like they've been labelled that, and it's ruining their lives. Which I enjoy that as well. I enjoy.
Okay, you've had too long to try and guess this. He's like basically one of the most famous male porn stars.
I'd say he's the most famous male porn star. I mean, who else is there?
No, Rocco.
Okay, fine, Rocco.
Yeah,
okay,
Rocco
sure.
Siffredi's the
Rocco.
most famous porn star.
Rocco's a franchise in himself, but like that's basically it. Maybe Mike Adriano.
Is he a porn star? Man, I love porn. I have not ever seen him. What the fuck?
You definitely have.
You definitely have.
Well, I think the photo is wrong. It should be his cock, I guess. I guess the photo should be his cock there.
Right, bottom line, before this joke becomes unfunny, Dr. Naomi Wolf fell for a fake image of a porn star posing as a doctor. Moving on.
How Biden rattled Putin. Oh, what a take. Lol, weird, because the way I remember it, Putin responded and said, "I wish you good health, Joe." Wink, wink, and a day later, Biden's falling down some stairs.
This is like...
Is that the
This person looks like...
Yeah.
This person looks like Woody Allen after 6 doses of the Pfizer vaccine.
He just needs 10 more. He'll be okay. Woody Allen.
Okay, groomer. Why Americans keep electing such ignorant joke into Congress? AOC talks like absurd, ominous clown.
This is the golden era of Chen WEIHUA.
I thought
he is some absolute bangers.
Yeah, I've been following him for years, and I think he's the only person online who I've actually sort of felt warrants a little label of, hey, this guy has his own idea. Or not his own idea.
Oh my goodness, he's still beating. And he called Senator Ben Sass, Senator Sucks Nuts. And he said, Senator Sucks Nuts. Said the US should launch a massive information campaign. Haha. The US has been conducting massive information and disinformation campaigns, such as CNN. Oh, man.
All right, April, my birthday month.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the
Memory hole.
experience. Right, play the theme song. Play the Nintendo Wii theme, but instead of every toot 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 toot, it's the footage of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that then for this month.
You know, not a position you'd expect a Democrat to have. Still, among black people who oppose gay marriage, Biden got like 92% of the vote.
They love his leg hairs. What was that?
I got hair legs.
Thing about him. I got hair legs.
They love hearing about the bilaps. That's the
These kids, they love me on my hairy legs. What was that about?
Yeah, what kind of person thinks that's an appropriate story to tell in public? I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Like, I'm sure that in reality what happened was perfectly fine and normal, but
people that like him try to tell me I'm weird.
It can't sound good, like, out of context.
There are so many different stories. You get any other stories, Bella.
And the story when kids are running up to you to rub your legs. Yeah, no, I'd say so. Yeah.
And doesn't he call them cockroaches? He calls them roaches.
Something like that, yeah.
I know roaches.
What, the kids or the hares?
The kids. I think it's like a slang term, but like an old school slang term for black kids, which isn't a good one.
I thought it just meant because like kids like scuttling around and shit.
Something like that.
Let's move on to Yakub. Tell us about Yakub.
Yeah. Yakub. All right. So before I begin, are people familiar with like the Scientology mythos about how like they believe that like an alien called what's his name? Zul, something like that. Xenu created all humans and stuff like that. So Yakub is kind of like that, but for the Nation of Islam. And like, I'm not even joking. This is what they actually believe. Like, you can go to the Wikipedia page on Yakub and the Nation of Islam, and it's all there. So they're sort of foundation mythos of the Nation of Islam, and this is genuinely what people like Louis Farrakhan believe. Like, I'm not joking here. Is that about 6,000 years ago there was a divine being. So this is where like black people were like Wakanda level, right? 6,000 years ago. Like Africa was like Wakanda level. And there was this genius called Yakub represented on the images because his brain was just so huge and he could, process millions and millions of data, in an instant in his massive brain. And he decided that he's gonna go and undertake a mission to create other races from black people. And so the first thing he did is he went to the Middle East and he created brown people. And then he created white people, but he made them really, really evil. I don't know whether that's by accident or by design. I don't really know whether Yakub is meant to be like a good guy or a bad guy in this, but fundamentally he was like this incredibly bright scientist who like created the monstrosity known as white people, who then went and conquered the planet. But it is prophesized that the white people reign will only be 6,000 years. And apparently that elapsed in 1914.
Oh.
So the 6,000 years of like white people destroying everything, that apparently, your free trial expired in 1914. And from then on, it's like, waste the motherfuckers, right? And that's a foundational myth of the Nation of Islam. I'm not joking here. That's literally like, when I first read it, I was genuinely like, okay, this is basically like Scientology, and some people like legitimately believe this stuff.
Well, I could get behind that. That sounds pretty
myth
cool.
Of Yakub. Yeah.
Big brain. He looks like one of those guys from Star Trek, doesn't he?
Klingons.
Mm.
Yeah.
Not Klingons.
Yeah. Something like that.
Are they Klingons?
Or Ferengi.
Maybe. Vagina head. So is Malcolm X, was he a Nation of Islam guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, and
He was indeed. I don't know if anyone's ever asked him his opinion on Yakub.
Was Muhammad Ali Nation of Islam as well?
Think so. I think because I think Nation of Islam also has something like Scientology, where they give you like a name and a rank when you join. And so because his actual name was Cassius Clay.
Mm-hmm.
When he joined the Nation of Islam, I think he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. I could be wrong on this.
No, I think that's true, yeah.
Wasn't Cat Stevens also one? Didn't he? Is it Cat Stevens?
I thought that was a shit name.
Who sung Wild World? No. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild. It is, right?
Cat Stevens.
He's like Yusuf something. Cat Stevens, Nation of Islam.
He could well be.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali, he converted to Sunni Islam after falling out with the Nation of Islam, though, when he retired from boxing.
Oh, really?
Did Malcolm X also, or was he always a Nation of Islam?
So what happened here then? What was this got to do with April 2nd? Was this your just discovery of you stumbled upon Yakub in late?
So this is an excellent Twitter chain on the right about the bottom tweet: white writers who refuse to debate Yakubian theories only hasten the acceptance of grafted devil theory. Science.
Oh, didn't the Nation of Islam assassinate Malcolm X? Wasn't that who killed him?
I thought it was the FBI. Same tautology. Hey.
Wow, this person doesn't like white people. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Shall we go through that? Shall we go through that tortuous?
Let's debate whether Yakub created white people by grafting a dog and a pig, or merely a dog and a rat. This seems totally legitimate. I didn't say I believe that white people were the product of Yakubite pig-dog grafting, just that it's worthy of debate. An astonishingly small number of white writers willing to prove to me that they are not vermin spawn. Faulkner is turning over in his grave. White writers who refuse to debate Yakubian theories only hasten the acceptance of the grafted devil theory.
So we were sort of melded together with like a man-bear-pig sort of scenario.
Yeah. The question is, are you going to fight it or are you going to embrace it? Are you going to embrace your inner man-bear-pig? Or are you going to fight it? Are you going to rebel against the Yakubian world order?
Do Yakubians eat pork? I feel like they should eat pork in that scenario. Yeah.
Well, the Nation of Islam.
As well.
Good question. I think pork is banned in the Nation of Islam.
Yeah, the reason they don't eat it is because it's a filthy, dirty devil animal. But like that's a common thing I've known in sort of Islam circles, where some of them believe that white people are like a ape pig hybrid. But I didn't know if that's separate from this or if that's where it's coming from. I guess that's where it's coming from.
Who's been telling you this?
Huh?
Who's been telling you that?
Like, there's that video of Mehdi Hassan calling like white people dogs and animals.
What, the Channel 4, the Channel 4 news presenter?
Yeah. No, he's had a lot of hot takes in his time. He like skirts a fine line between being a social justice warrior and like making absolutely horrendous takes about like race and stuff.
But that's how he got big in America, I guess. He's really big over there now, isn't he? Like, just gotta spread the hate.
Yeah.
Fauci, not sure why Texans don't have an uptick of COVID after nixing masks.
It's a funny word.
Yeah, never.
God, that mask debate was. Come on.
Nipping masks in a bud.
May I stuff to wear the fuckers? I do not like it. Hopefully soon. But there are less people wearing them in the streets and in their cars. Like when I first got here, everyone in their cars was wearing them as well, and it was just like, what the hell are you doing? You're sat alone in a vehicle.
But didn't they always just wear them anyway? I remember I used before COVID. This is why I was so against lockdowns and all that. Really, is because they stole the joke of me I was using for years, where if I see like an Asian person in a mask on the tube or whatever, I just point to someone and say, "Oh, okay, look, we get it. They're a surgeon." That was always what I used to say, and then they stole that. They robbed me of that. Do they not all just wear one now?
I think you should still make that joke. Like even after all that, just like especially if you make it to someone who's also masked, like just nudge someone in a mask or someone else who's in a mask and be like, "You think this guy's a surgeon?" Like on the tube.
I did have fun in the first year of COVID. I went on more holidays in like the first year of COVID than ever before, just because I felt like I wasn't going to be able to. So I just sort of, I don't know what happened, but anyway, it was good. I was in Greece, and there was some waiter was telling me about the mask, to wear a mask or whatever, and telling me about the pandemic, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "The pandemic." I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." Just like what he was like, the fuck, like COVID. Like I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what's that word. Like I don't know what that is. It was just like, yeah, it was a good time for fucking around with people. I give it that.
Oh, actually, I do have to say, we are happy to announce that our podcast has now got as many sponsors as the H3H3 podcast. Congratulations, everyone. We did it. I literally do my daily routine to the Gary Glitter song. So, I brush my teeth. I do the kick whilst I'm going down the stairs. Hey!
Oh, yeah, the Caterpillar cakes. Caterpillar cakes probably come from the same factory as Aldi.
This was a year ago.
You're going to have to explain the controversy.
Yeah, so was it Aldi came out with what's the caterpillar called?
There's like is it like a Kevin? There's like a Calvin. I don't know what they're
Who's
called.
the OG? Caterpillar. Colin the Caterpillar's the OG.
There you go.
Colin the Caterpillar is a chocolate roll cake sold by the British retailer Marks and Spencer. More than 15 million Colin the Caterpillar cakes have been sold since it was introduced in 1990. 15 million? That's nothing.
Yeah, what the hell? I've definitely had like 20.
I feel like everyone in the country's had a caterpillar cake at some point, but then I guess you share them.
I don't think I have actually.
You never owned them?
No.
It's basically.
Will I ever be able to? Am I done for?
Well, yeah, you can get them. You can get them everywhere. Maybe not Colin though.
Caterpillar cake Aldi.
Aldi's.
Oh, and Aldi it's Cuthbert. Cuthbert.
Yeah. Cuthbert's a way better name for a caterpillar.
Yeah. So it's literally just brownie like covered in molten chocolate.
It's like a Swiss roll basically with chocolate buttons on top. Do you know what caterpillar is in Japanese?
The Daily Mail did an article. The Daily Mail did an article called "The Ultimate Caterpillar Cake Taste Test." As Aldi's Cuthbert finally returns to stores, the Daily Mail reveals how it stacks up against M&S and all the other supermarket copycats. So they tried Aldi's Cuthbert the Caterpillar, Marks and Spencer's Colin the Caterpillar, Sainsbury's Wiggles the Caterpillar, Tesco's Curly the Caterpillar, Co-op's Charlie the Curious Caterpillar Cake. Yeah, she made Charlie the Bi-Curious Caterpillar Cake. Banger. Waitrose Cecil the Caterpillar. Oh, that just sounds I don't know. I'm sure I like Cecil the caterpillar. Asta's got Clyde the caterpillar. Morrison's got the Morris the caterpillar. I feel like that's branding issues there.
Oh yeah.
And that's it. Morris the caterpillar. So yeah, the best one is apparently which one won? It just may well be the Cuthbert the caterpillar from Aldi.
Oh, that's why they all butthurt about it.
What you're doing there is you're reading an advert.
Maybe. Maybe I am.
No logo in the phone. But do you know what caterpillar is in Japanese?
No.
Go for it.
Kemushi. Ke means fur
Aw.
and mushi means bug. So it's fur bug.
Oh,
That's
cool.
not bad. Oh, actually, I do have to say, we are happy to announce that our podcast has now got as many sponsors as the H3H3 podcast. Congratulations, everyone. We did it.
So much joy from that. What has he done? He just played himself, didn't he? Bitch, you just played yourself.
It used to be entertaining,
Yeah.
and then COVID happened, and it just went.
Yeah, I remember liking him quite a few years back now, but he was normal.
Yeah, back in like 2018, 2019, he was okay. He did some funny videos, and then he kind of fell off, and he stopped making funny videos and just started focusing on the podcast. And I was kind of okay with that.
The podcast was good. It was.
Well-
It was like as soon as like COVID happened, it's like his brain broke or some shit.
Mind virus.
I mean, what was it really good? Like did you ever see that Gokunaru video? Where he goes off on Ethan, like when he invited that dude, basically gave him 10 minutes and told him to fuck off. Who was like a massive fan. Like he made a t-shirt or some kind of a beanie for Ethan that like lights up or something like that. Like it was just like a really personal gift. And Ethan invited him on a podcast. I talked for maybe like 10 minutes and then told him to fuck off.
The worst one was when Bill Burr went on. Bill Burr was
Oh
like,
yeah,
it was so awkward.
He got so angry, but like because Ethan kept asking really personal stuff.
Yeah.
So there was that.
They don't seem smart enough to be.
I definitely recommend the Gokunaru video on.
I have seen it, but not for a while.
Yeah.
There was a lot of back and forth on that of like, because I remember him talking about that video and saying, "Oh look, I didn't say this," and then I watched it. Like there was a lot of back and forth. It just felt like I don't know what to think about that whole sscenario.
So the video is called "The Death of H3H3," and there's at the moment there's a re-upload because obviously the original
that was the
one
one
got heated.
Oh yeah, because it had that thing with what was he called? Shoe Nice.
Oh, that was just abuse because you can definitely see that Shoe Nice is just some guy who's like, you know, mentally disabled, and you have like Ethan goading him into like eating a glue stick and stuff like that. Stop laughing. It's really upsetting. You do not laugh because it's definitely a guy who's, you know, mentally challenged, and here you have this fat ass dickhead just encouraging him. Like, you should not encourage these people to do these kinds of things.
No.
But that whole whole area of YouTube is just like mentally ill people just like feeding off each other's illnesses and like creating drama.
The good old days. Gosh, remember like the days of iDubbbz making content cops and Filthy Frank being a thing? 2014, 15, 16 YouTube was wild. The era of iDubbbz eating a cake made out of his own hair.
Yeah, anything for views.
Yeah, anything for views. But what's his real name? Chad. Is his actual name Chad?
No, is it?
Who?
Yeah, anything for views. I think his actual name is Chad or Chet. Anything for Chad Roberts, yeah. He got a tattoo of PewDiePie. He's parading around in nothing but his underwear because he got a tattoo of PewDiePie on his butt.
Yeah. It's Chad. Well, man, you'd be so happy if your name was Chad, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there it is. The dumbass gets PewDiePie tattoo. I can't believe that video is still up. Dumbass gets PewDiePie tattoo.
He is a fat fuck.
Who is?
Chad.
I don't know this guy. Chad what? Chad Robert.
I remember his last name.
Chad Roberts, yeah.
I've never seen this guy.
Oh no, they took down the video of dumbass gets PewDiePie tattoo. Oh no, they didn't. It's still up.
He's only got five video. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Ugh. I mean, a lot of what happened last year was all of that stuff, so we might We might repeat ourselves. This isn't the Joe Rogan podcast where we have the same conversation with every single person that comes on.
Have you heard about chimpanzees? Bite your balls off.
Bite your fuck.
They're so strong, man. They're fucking. Hey, friend, listen. Speaking of nuts, I know this isn't where piss is, but I need to piss, so I'll let you guys carry on while I go quickly release my balls.
Right, let's finish.
My head balls.
Right, I'm going to do the annoying...
It's time to seriously ask the question, is Nick Fuentes the Rosa Parks of the 21st century?
Mainstream meteor. So this is with regards to Nick Fuentes being flight banned. So Nick Fuentes has been put on a no-fly list. So whenever he tries to board a plane, just tell him, sorry, you can't. Like, but you know, like not officially, but kind of like, yeah, sorry, like we're just gonna hold you in like a detention place until the plane takes off, and then whoops, you missed your flight. You know, it's like a really scummy thing that they do. That the US government does.
Just annoying.
The powers that be. Yeah, so he's officially on a no-fly list.
But why though? How could they just do that to anyone?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, in the past it used to be done to like potential terrorists. And everyone was very happy about it, obviously. But now it's just being done to political dissidents.
The hangover of all these things, they just go on forever, don't they? They just stretch into infinity. Like they don't go away any of these. They just expand their powers. Like that. Like you can detain someone in the UK now without charging them for donkeys just because of those terror laws from like 2005 or whatever.
Did you cover the PJW?
Yeah, we did.
Did you do it in his voice, though? It's time to seriously ask the question, is Nick Fuentes the Rosa Parks of the 21st century?
That's good. That's really...
Infowars.com. Stuff like this, though, makes me hopeful that the algorithms are still extremely dumb. Like, that's literally just been fed, spreading the keyword spreading and disease, and it's going to get that COVID-19.
Yeah, but at the same time, it just means that anything like satire gets, like, completely fucked as well, because it can't tell the difference between... that and a joke or whatever.
There it is. I found the fact check. During the years of the regime, German doctors argued that spread disease. Reflecting common themes in propaganda, these medical professionals repeatedly pushed the false claim were responsible for outbreaks of typhus, a deadly contagious disease spread by lice. So, as that we've learned from this that experts will say whatever the regime wants them to say. Really.
Yeah. Gina Carrino was right.
Aren't her and Ben?
She probably was. She probably was.
Is that the one that Ben Shapiro is doing the porno with? Or
yeah.
Well, so he is making a movie, yeah, and she is starring in it. But I don't know where that's going. Like
Dirty Dog.
That's like Cape Shit, rather.
It's just going to be her doing Star Wars, how it should have gone, but she does all the parts.
Apparently,
including like the Yoda bits. Yeah. Gina Carrino dresses a Yoda. That will save Star Wars.
Shapiro does Yoda.
Strong with the Force, you are.
Did you hear about that GROWLERGATE stuff where she complained about how people have been saying she's been showing her minge to Boris in the chambers? And then it turned out she made up the story, and people heard about her bragging about her showing him her growler all the time in the bar in the House of Parliament, apparently. So
is that the actual term she used?
Yeah, growler. My ginger growler.
No, I'm out.
This is too good. We've got
I'm out.
Maybe we can just do a little sneak peek for the next episode because she is look.
Oh, she kind of cute there in that photo. I'm not gonna lie.
Ginger growler.
No, but yeah, I think it's by the time we move past the GROWLERGATE.
Mm-hmm.
That word, it's so. Why do British people have to invent all these like really unappealing terms for vagina? Like
blame Monty Python and Shakespeare.
Like the first time I heard the word minge, it gave me like goosebumps in a really bad way. Like I'm suddenly very uncomfortable. I was having a good time until about 3 seconds ago, and someone said minge, and now my whole vibe is ruined. Like I just suddenly came down.
Yeah.
And secondly, because it reminds me of Weird Al Yankovic, a much better Yankovic.
Isn't Harry Potter playing that now? Harry Potter's playing it. There's a weird Al Yankovic film coming out and Harry Potter's playing.
No way.
Yeah, I think so.
Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe is playing in a Weird Al movie.
Weird Al.
Yeah, he's playing. He doesn't look anything like it. What the fuck?
What? Okay, I need to Google this. I need to. I'm being snobs. I'm fact checking your claim. Weird
pretty
Al
sure it's out.
plus Daniel
It's
Radcliffe.
true.
But I think mine was white and nerdy. To your previous question. Yeah,
I like
I
Amish Paradise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Daniel Radcliffe becomes Weird Al Yankovic in trailer for. I can't believe I'm going to Variety.com in a biopic. It's gonna be a Roku original.
What's that?
It's like, okay, so as far as streaming platforms go, you have like, I guess Netflix, Amazon Prime. Then there's like a power gap. There's Hulu. Then there's like another power gap. And then there's Roku. Like, they might as well say it's being released for projecting onto the side of a building.
Is that like where all the child? Is that where all the child porn is?
But like, I mean, kind of sad that it doesn't have a wider, I guess, reach. It's being released on fucking Roku of all things. Like, who realistically is gonna be like, oh yeah, I so want to pay £5 a month for a Roku subscription, just so I can see the original Weird Al biopic starring Daniel Radcliffe. Sign me the fuck up.
Roku.
But also
another point
I want to make. Another point I want to make is. Props to Daniel Radcliffe for actually trying to reinvent himself as an actor. Like he's trying to step into the shoes of who's the Twilight guy?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, who after Twilight he was determined not to be typecast as like the effeminate vampire dude who plays in like teen flicks, and so he took all sorts of like weird ass, silly, stupid roles just to be able to put anything on his CV. Like, props for the work ethic, right? He'd be like, yeah, fuck it, I'll play some background dude in some kind of a thing. Just anything that's not like a feminine vampire in a teen flick. Just sign me up for it. And then, as a result, and it actually worked for him because he started getting bigger and bigger roles. And then there was, The Lighthouse, and now Batman. Like, he's completely reinvented himself.
Batman's a bit of a step back, though, because he's basically playing an effeminate
No.
An effeminate Batman.
He's playing a little bit of an emo Batman.
A Batty Man. The Batty Man. Did you watch that? Did you watch that one where he's farting? That Daniel Radcliffe indie one. He's gone some proper weird ones. It's like Swiss Army Man.
No,
I saw it years ago.
Guns Akimbo.
Yeah.
Is that
that's I haven't seen that one, but that's one where he's got guns strapped to his hands, right? There's another one where he's just like he gets washed. He gets
called Guns Akimbo, and I'm thinking this is something that should star Steven Seagal, not fucking Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, right. The Swiss Army Man. He washes up on a
absolutely atrocious Steven Seagal flick where it's later revealed that on the set he tried molesting somebody. That's what I think of when I think Guns Akimbo.
Legs Akimbo. Yeah. There's this one where he's a rotting corpse, and he plays the role of a rotting corpse the whole way through.
Like, does he actually do stuff, or does he just lie on the table?
He just lies on the table and farts, and the guy uses him to, like he powers him through the sea or something. I can't remember. Like he's called the Swiss Army Man because he saves this guy by being a rotting corpse.
This is like a really bad play on like Edward Scissorhands. Because like I'm getting like some absolutely awful interpretation of Edward Scissorhands from this.
Yeah, hairy shitter. Oh man, yeah. I'm just looking it up again now. Yeah, that was actually a film. It wasn't just a fever dream.
Oh man.
Yeah, Hank Thompson, a man marooned on an island, is on the verge of hanging himself, but sees a corpse wash up on the beach. He tries to resuscitate it, but the corpse bemuses him with its innocent flatulence. As the tide begins to wash the corpse away, Hank watches as it farts propel it around the water. Hank immediately mounts the corpse and rides it across the ocean like a jet ski, landing on the mainland shore but far from civilization.
Oh man, honestly,
yeah.
I'll again, I guess props to Daniel Radcliffe for doing this kind of shit. He's like, I really don't want to be typecast as like Harry Potter forever. Someone's like, okay, would you take a role where you are a farting corpse? Like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. Just put my name on the credits. Tell me how to spell
Is that
the
based on a
titles,
true
I can put
story?
it on my CV.
I don't know if it is based on a true story. It doesn't look like it. Survival tips.
Corey
No,
Feldman.
it's kind of like just an 80s.
Is Corey Feldman the guy who was abused and then decided to become a dancer?
He got abused
Yeah,
by
what's
basically
that?
everyone.
Yeah,
he's
but
in that
like
new song.
Oh,
The
can we
King
have like
Comeback
a little
King.
intermission? Intermission. We play the Corey Feldman dance routine on YouTube. Corey Feldman dance. Which one was it?
I never really
Oh,
got
it
it.
was.
'cause
I
he's
think
not
Corey
even- he's
Corey
not-
Feldman and Angels Go For It on today's show. I think that's the one.
Angels.
Yeah, it's an absolute tragedy. It's a travesty. Corey Feldman and the Angels Go For It today's show.
Let me do
I
a few things.
I would never molest him. Like just looking at him, I just don't. I never really got it.
Yeah, it was never sexy.
You have a much. I guess your taste is more refined. You have much more refined palate.
Yeah, that's why I never make it in Hollywood.
How do I get you guys to see it? I have to change the sharing screen.
Love the comments when you order Michael Jackson off Wish. It's like one of those motivational songs that a high school teacher who thinks that they're in touch with today's generation plays before class starts.
Can you see it?
Yep.
One sec, just sorting it out.
Alban Rus. Is this like where is it?
Fuck knows.
Some Corey Feldman posters on your
Oh, there's
walls.
no-
I'm
oh,
gonna
there
say
is.
licensed to drive.
Yep.
He's always had a passion for singing, and now Corey's got a double CD.
Yes, and we hear.
He looks dead.
You see that it kind of all goes along with the concept. Probably saved me once or twice in my life, and I like helping them as well. That's why I created Corey's Angels, as a way to help girls who are like kind of lost and needed to find their way to get their opportunities, their dreams, and make them realities. And that's what we do. We try to help them make their realities, you know, their dreams.
And you dedicated one album to Michael Jackson and the other to Corey Haim, is that right?
Yeah, there's actually 4 that.
Why is he like? He's so against fucking pedos in Hollywood and stuff. Why is he emulating the biggest one?
No, yeah, I don't have it.
This is history in the making.
All she gonna do is twerk. Hit the club, tell him.
I reckon when Michael Jackson molested him, he accidentally created a Horcrux, and that Horcrux is Corey Feldman.
I can't watch anymore. It's sad. It's just too sad.
Yeah, do you ever think that you can't make it in Hollywood? Like, you're more talented than Corey Feldman. Also, why are we
He's just
talking about Corey Feldman? Oh, it's the movie The Lost Boys.
Is
That's
it?
why we're talking about Corey Feldman.
Yeah. He plays one of the vampire hunter kids.
Excellent dance routine.
Jarvis, target Israel. I love that meme. Did you see the video? You know, he got banned from the content clash.
Oh yeah, and like they were like hunting down people with his face on, wearing people are so sad, aren't they? People, you sad, strange little man, as Buzz Lightyear would say.
So weird though, because like after the iDubbbz thing came out, I was like, oh, iDubbbz seems sound. He seems to have taken it well. And then, it's just a little bit.
I do feel like Sam is just doing whatever he can to get to the top, though. So if he has to be a bit nice, he's going to be a bit nice for now.
He's getting closer to Joe Rogan, isn't he?
He's
he had
definitely
Shane, Shane Gillis on. And
he's definitely getting closer. It's going to happen.
That would totally boost Joe Rogan's numbers, I think. Because it would just create such a storm in the media.
It would.
That it would just bring more eyeballs on it. Like, you imagine the headlines just like multiple school shooter Sam Hyde, the ghost of Kiev appears on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Who the hell are those two? Is that Priti Patel and
her husband?
He looks like he's he's sitting on a secret, doesn't he? He looks well chuffed. Yeah, his Indian variant's coming over to dominate him.
Do you reckon she gets the leather on and just fucking strap on and treats him like an immigrant in the channel? Just absolutely tears his arse open.
Yeah, just in a dinghy in the garden.
That stuff's so silly, man. Like, people are getting so angry that we protect our fucking borders. Imagine someone just wandering into your garden. What are you going to do about it? Someone just in the pond in your garden, just like drowning.
Well, it's that whole problem. It's that it's the NIMBYs, isn't it? They'll all be pissed off if they all came into their backyards, I reckon.
Yeah.
Waiting for one person to point out that Belarusian activist was arrested for holding protests that claim the election was stolen, which the government considers domestic extremism.
So this has been done to death, but I mean the concept of hypocrisy. Like I feel like if I had more artistic talent, I might actually commission it. But a comic where in the first panel you have a conservative and Democrat, and a conservative says, "But isn't that a bit hypocritical of you?" And the Democrat says, "Oh no, you're totally right. I'm a hypocrite. Oh no, I lose. Here are the keys to the White House." And then in the third panel, the conservative guy wakes up and turns out the above two are a dream. And he reads a newspaper, and the newspaper says, "Conservatives outfoxed yet again. Democrats win." And subheading, "No one gives a shit about hypocrisy." Hypocrisy is part of the game. And the sooner we stop trying to be like, "Oh, well, that makes you a hypocrite, doesn't it? Democrats are the real racists. Ha ha ha." The sooner we get rid of that mindset, the sooner we can focus on like actually constructive solutions to the problems in the regime.
Do you remember this last year when Joe Rogan trashed Hila on his podcast?
Is he just called her like a horse face?
No,
like
he said she was stupid for wearing a mask at what's her name?
Okay.
Why I keep forgetting names today? That female comedian
at the HTH3.
No, she was at Whitney Cummings. She was at a Whitney Cummings comedy gig, which was held outside at Whitney Cummings' house. Joe Rogan basically asked, "Who's that person wearing a mask? It's a bit silly for you to be wearing a mask when you're outside, and everyone's being tested and stuff."
Outdoors event. Yeah.
That was literally the extent of what he said. And obviously...
Oh, so I wouldn't say... Yeah, wouldn't necessarily call it trashing.
Yeah, so then H3 turned that into a two-hour fucking rant about how Joe Rogan's, like, awful and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely the point at which I was like, yeah, fuck these people.
So at the moment, Ethan's in a bit of hot water himself because he advocated firebombing the NRA after the most recent mass shooting.
Really?
Yeah, he got suspended. I'm loving his like downward spiral. I think he's gonna be propped up by Susan for like another 6 months. After which, like it's gonna be apparent that he's more of a liability, and like even the ideological party line cannot, keep him propped up, for that long. So I think we might see like Ethan Klein, getting the leafy treatments.
The Ethan decline.
I like what you did there.
Oh, guess what I watched the other day?
I don't know.
Go on.
I watched The Swiss Army Man.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
It's actually really good.
Is it what I remembered it as? It is.
Do you know the film with Daniel Radcliffe as a corpse?
Oh, no way.
A fighting corpse. It's actually funny.
Is it? Okay, well now I'm gonna have to watch it. What's it called?
Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man. All right, it's on you now. It's on you.
He had to really like radically shift, didn't he, to shake off the Harry Potter thing. But fair play to him. It looks like he did it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, can you imagine if he applies for a role and they're like, "Are you the Harry Potter guy?" It's like, well, I'd rather be the walking corpse guy, but sure, let's go with the Harry Potter one.
Didn't he like fuck a horse on stage as well? Wasn't he?
He was naked next to a horse. Yeah.
Man and beast and warm embrace.
Right,
let's get into it.
Wait, have you been watching? Is there any news on the dude who, you know, he had the longest YouTube thing ever, like 70 episodes of Asperger's? You know the guy.
Oh, Chris Chan.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, there's new episodes. I need to watch them.
Have you've been keeping up to date?
I think I'm 3 behind.
So yes. Yeah, fair.
Unbelievable.
Is he gone to prison? Is that something that's happening?
He's still awaiting trial. It keeps getting pushed back.
Is that going to be televised?
Did he plead guilty?
I'm not sure.
No way.
Oh, if that's televised.
Also, I think he's going to avoid he's going to avoid the trial altogether by just pleading guilty. Like, I don't think he's going to be stupid enough to plead not guilty and like have the whole thing play out.
I think it is going to trial. RADCLIFFE's going to cover it if it's televised, but it probably won't
surely it's going to be a guilty. It's going to be a deal with the prosecutor, a guilty plea. I refuse to believe it's going to be a Christian trial. I'm not. No, I don't live in the universe.
The Jesus of our time, Pontius Pilate, Christian.
No.
That's what it sounded like you said when you said Christian trial. Christian trial.
It's like the what's it called? It's not the Parkland shooter. What's the Parkland shooter? Nicholas Cruz, no relation. He decided to plead mental illness, and so that has to which means not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to go to trial. In fact, the trial's been going on for quite a while. He could be facing death penalty.
Can you plead mental illness if you're obviously mentally ill, or is it something that they just take as like Chris Chan's? Well, obviously you're already mentally ill, so like you can't really plead it because we already know.
Yeah, but it's so I guess the question isn't are you mentally ill. The question is the mental illness the reason for what you're doing? Do you know what I mean? Because for instance, you could be you could have a mental illness that's completely unrelated to what you're doing. Like you could have like an obsessive compulsive disorder, but if you just shot someone and had absolutely zero relation to your obsessive compulsive disorder, then you can't just say, "Oh, I'm mentally ill." Like it's not like a get out of jail free card, right? So at the trial, if you're gonna claim that you're mentally ill, then it has to be, and you're gonna have to prove, and it's the mental illness that made me do this.
I hope the jurors have to watch every bit of internet evidence of his life through all the years, just like an ice cream, a lollipop lady, just getting bombarded with.
I want to play. Have you seen the Chris Chan The Good Ending, where he did a video as like a troll that was like, "Hi everyone, I'm Christian Chandler, and I just want to say that like literally everything has been fake, and I can't believe that you've been falling for it." And so everyone's now calling it the Christian The Good Ending. I'll send it to
you. I can't wait for that.
Well, I sometimes do wonder, what if Brendan Schaub went in front of like a hostile crowd where people actually did have the balls to heckle, and it wasn't just sterilized Netflix environment where the audience is pre-selected to be docile, and and everyone probably signs an agreement they're not going to heckle. But what if you put Brendan Schaub in front of like an actual, where you have some guy who's on his like 6th beer, some massive bazza with a beer belly. Who thinks it's his duty to participate in a comedy. Like, what would happen if you put Brendan Schaub in front of a crowd like that?
Probably cry. He claims he's cancelled some shows in San Francisco because the DA was recalled or something, and he was claiming that
the city's not safe and it's too expensive for people to get hotels in the city.
Surely the city is safer because the DA got recalled, because the guy was just obstinately not prosecuting any cases.
But then
that's why he got recalled.
Then people looked up like the comedy place he was supposed to be playing, and like everyone else was there at the shows. Like there was other shows on the same night, and they didn't feel the need to cancel shows and shit. Yeah.
I mean, hey, Dave Chappelle performed live on stage and even got tackled, but didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
YOLO. Sometimes you get tackled by an incompetent guy with a knife.
That guy got beaten the fuck out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like wheelchair sort of vibes.
Within a few days, the left has claimed Antifa stormed Normandy and defeated the Nazis, as well as claiming the US played little role in ending World War II and the Soviets deserved all credit. Something seems amiss here. I hate to break the news to you, Scooter.
Oh, no.
Both of those positions which you strawman are largely accurate, certainly more accurate than whatever History Channel level nonsense you hold dear.
The Fed General, Richard Spencer, CNN contributor. Like, if anyone ever asks you, like, okay, how can I tell if someone, is a Fed, or at least how can I tell if someone has been just say, like, if you're normally on the dissident right wing and they're making takes like that, you are compromised. You are a Fed. You glow like crazy. The people who are painting hands on watches using radium dyes, they probably don't glow as hard as Richard Spencer.
Wait, what does that glowing mean? Like, just like evidently he's putting stuff out there which is completely to the point, like framing the Overton window a bit too weirdly, or what's?
Yeah, so glowing means you have been compromised.
Mm-hmm.
So either you are a Fed or you are in contact with someone from the State Department in order to push your side towards the I guess either the mainstream or the more moderate position, or just straight up left wing talking points. Like what Richard Spencer is saying here is no different than what people with like hammer and sickle and then red roses in their bios would say, right, on Twitter.
How do you reckon they got?
I think it was Charlottesville. Because shit got pretty wild out there during Charlottesville, and they basically said, like, you're gonna go to prison for life unless you start playing for our side.
Oh yeah. There was a guy at my work called Richard. There was a guy at my work called Richard Spencer.
So I think that's the guy.
Did you start going by Dick? This is the lesser of two evils.
No, but I'd left. I wish I'd known more about Richard Spencer at the time, because I've left at this point. But he was such a shy guy. I could have had a lot of fun.
You see Greta at Glastonbury flaunting her book.
Oh yeah.
She's like the new Noah, innit? But the inverse, and autistic, and selling books about it. I guess Noah was selling a book, probably.
You see some more rugged masculinity.
What are the effects on this?
I don't know. Pathetic.
Did you watch the rest of Thingy's training videos with him? Epic Mealtime.
I think I only just watched the one that they released. Was there other videos released?
There's 4 in total.
Oh, I didn't see them all. I should watch those.
And only 3 have Sam Hyde in, but the 4th one he goes back to his normal trainer, and he doesn't slate him off. To be fair, he's kind of like supportive of Sam Hyde's animalistic technique, but some of it he's just like, I don't know where he's getting this from. Like, that's like the opposite of what he should do. But most of it he's like, yeah, he came back definitely better than when he went out, so who am I to say?
I was watching an interview with him yesterday, and he was saying like how a lot of boxing coaches and stuff, they're like 5'8", and like trying to teach someone who's like 6'4" how to box. It's just, you move differently, so like that's what he needed to teach him, how to move as a boxer, as someone who's that big.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do if someone 6 foot something started just like whelping on me like that. I was like, remember your training. Wouldn't cut it, I reckon.
Haha, this game is scary. Creator is Republican.
I remember in my teenage years telling people that about Urban Outfitters as well, the clothes shop. It was owned by a Republican guy in the US, and they were just like,
ignored that and kept.
Was that true, or was you just trolling?
It was. I thought it was true at the time. I can't remember now. No, I don't think I was just trolling. I think that's what. I think that was the beginnings of me finding out stuff.
What was the purpose of making Juneteenth a national holiday? White people don't deserve Juneteenth off. Black people should be off and compensated on that day. Pay our rent. Let us out of prison. A national holiday literally means nothing.
Let us out of prison.
Why would there be so many people in prison?
That's a spicy take. Imagine saying that on Juneteenth. Imagine a white guy saying that on Juneteenth. We should let them all out of prison.
The fall of Gondor.
Don't try it, Anakin. No, don't do it.
So this, I guess, is a itinerary for the Tolkien Society last year.
Yeah, so this is when we're discussing, actually Conquest Second Law, right? Because here's supposedly a neutral organization, which is Tolkien Society. And then you look at their annual conference, the speakers, and the topics, and you just start tearing your hair out.
Gondor in Transition, a brief introduction to transgender realities in The Lord of the Rings.
The problem of pain, betraying physical disability, the fantasy of J.R.R. Tolkien.
All the hobbits.
Yeah, remember when they're going into the Mines of Moria? Remember when they're going into the Mines of Moria, and someone from the Fellowship was like, I can't go in because they don't have a wheelchair ramp?
The Burnt Hand teaches most about fire, applying traumatic stress and ecological frameworks to narratives of displacement and resettlement across cultures in Tolkien's Middle-earth.
It keeps going. The Invisible Other, Tolkien's Dwarf Women, and the Feminine Lack.
Like, you'd at least think they'd throw in some normal
Do these people have jobs? Do these people have jobs? And secondly, if those jobs are at like universities and they're getting public money, are those jobs really going to survive the upcoming recession?
Another white pill?
Like, surely at some point, going to be like... Do you know what I mean? Surely at some point you're going to be like, okay, you contribute like literally nothing. You write a paper that no one reads for a journal that no one reads.
But someone needs to project Indian myths, culture and history onto Tolkien's world.
What about this one? Pardoning Saruman, the queer in Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. Was he gay?
No, but, you know, it's like... It's like when people always say that Mario and Luigi are secretly gay, right? Like, it started out as a joke, and then, like, actually got hijacked, and now, like, people are legitimately like, oh yeah, Mario and Luigi, they're having cold butt sex.
Clean each other's pipes.
What the fuck? What's this one? Queer atheists, agnostics, and animists. Oh my! Like,
oh my!
I thought this was
that's not even related, right?
Yeah, that's just just throw some Wizard of Oz in there for good measure.
What is an animist? Is that like a pagan, like branch of paganism?
Yeah, it's like where you believe everything is animated. Like, so kind of belief that all natural phenomena, including human beings, animals and plants, but also rocks, lakes, mountains, weather and so on, share one vital quality, the soul or spirit that energizes them. It's the core of most Arctic belief system. A lot of Japanese
kind of shit
is animist as well.
Okay. I was going more for like Colours of the Wind, Pocahontas and stuff like that.
I thought that said Dana Peterson Deep Throat. I thought that was her name.
You've been on the internet too long.
Something mighty queer, destabilizing cis hetero anatonormativity in the works of Tolkien. They're having
oh my goodness,
female orcs in the upcoming.
What is that word? Amatonormativity.
Yeah, I was.
What does that mean?
With that one. I got lost. Something mighty queer.
I guess like
destabilizing.
I thought
cis hetero amatonormativity.
I guess it just means normal bodied.
No, but that would be even anatonormativity.
Yeah, but these people
anatomonormativity, surely, not amatonormativity.
Oh yeah.
I just gave them benefit of the doubt and assumed it was a spelling mistake. But let's have a look. Maybe we've stumbled on some
Hakuna Amata.
Hakuna Matata.
What is that?
Amatonormativity is a word I coined to describe the widespread assumption that everyone is better off in an exclusive, romantic, long-term coupled relationship and that everyone is seeking such a relationship.
Oh. Well, you describe yourself as an as an anti-amatonormativist, then, no?
Not really.
You're an amatonormativist, then?
No.
Where'd you stand on the amatonormativity question? Personally, I'm pro-stabilizing amatonormativity.
Yeah. I think a bit more of that would be quite good.
Yeah.
This describes the terms of pressure or desire for monogamy, romance, and/or marriage.
What are they going to
Most
suggest?
people,
how
that's probably true for, yeah, but there
I
are
mean,
edge cases.
No, to me, translation should mean, reproducing the work as faithfully as possible in another language. As soon as you start, like, adding shit, it's no longer translation.
Yeah,
It's like,
Lord of the Tings in the ghetto.
Have you guys heard that, like, the Norwegian, I think it might have been the Norwegian version of Dracula was completely different. And they only, like, found out recently that, like, for 100 years... because no one asked, right? The one guy translated Dracula into Norwegian and just completely changed the ending. Like the second half is completely different in Norwegian.
It's actually Twilight. That's where Twilight came from.
and no one, no one found out until like really, really recently.
That's fun.
I feel like that guy's one should be a book in its own right now, right? Well, I guess it is because it's been going for 100 years.
It is in the public domain. You wanna write your own Dracula prose?
Fanfic.
Okay, let's move on.
Where Dracula and Van Helsing have steaming hot butt sex. The world's your oyster.